Hello and welcome to another edition of Goa 365's Face to Face. Now, with me today is a known figure who he has been on our shows quite regularly election time, especially when election time he becomes more and more important to us and on our channel, Mr. Bhaskar Asoldekar from ADR. Now, before I go into introduce him or further get into more details, the ADR has done a little bit of an analysis on Goa, on the various MLAs, on various factors that bring in winnability factors. And they've been doing it over the years, and now they have done it for Goa, especially because the elections are coming up in a couple of months. So Bhaskar Bar, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bhaskar Bar, before we go into specific details, I would like you to give us a general synopsis of this analysis which you have just released. Bhaskar Bar.
See, like with just about 2.5 to 3 months to go for the assembly elections in Goa, we thought it's desirable to do a little of a recap on who these 40 representatives that we have in the assembly during the period 2017 to early 22. And we feel that not everything is fine, basically, because ideally the MLAs have to be true representative of the particular population. In Goa, these 40 MLAs should be true representatives of Goans in just about every way possible, whether it is in terms of their finances, in terms of their criminal records, in terms of their assets, liabilities. On and every they should be exactly representing. But that's not what exactly is happening in Goa. It should be a matter of concern to Goans at large, because generally we are normally talking about the politicians and their ways and try to talk about everything. But at the end of the day, these are the people who are elected by the voters. And today, by way of having software which will ensure that there is no impersonation, there are biometrics in place, so you can't be sort of, booth capturing is not there.
Is a thing of the past, at least, yes.
It's a thing of the past. So, if someone is getting elected and then we say, oh, he's a criminal or he is having so many crores, perhaps we as Goans, and we take really great pride in saying that we are very, very highly educated people, one of the highest literacy rates in the country, and if we elect them, I think this thing lies right in our way of handling the elections. I mean, how the voters really vote. And I do see a distinct change over the last almost about 55 years that, or maybe more than that. The first elections was in 63, 64, end of December 63, and swearing in had happened on 9th and 10th of January of 1964, vis-a-vis the elections now. When we elected 28 MLAs in the very first assembly, we had perfect representation. We had 3-4 doctors, another 3-4 farmers, advocates, teachers, freedom fighters. So it was a perfect mix. So even when they took decisions in the assembly or they brought a bill, there was expertise and experience in those fields coming out of some of these MLAs. But today we have 39 MLAs who have communicated their profession as businessmen.
As what? As what? As what? Businessmen. Okay.
39 out of 40 have declared their profession as businessmen. Now, I don't have any aversion towards business because I myself is a businessman. But could we have a few from educational field? Could we have a few from legal fraternity? Could we have a few who are into teaching, farmers? So that when we talk about and bring the bills of farmers or the Rampon card or some such thing, so if you have a little background of this, if you have come through that kind of thing, then perhaps you can represent the masses better, is what my feeling is.
Our Chief Minister is a doctor.
Oh yes, of course. the one and only doctor.
Wow.
But otherwise, most of them are businessmen. One or two are, they have said that they are teachers or some such thing. But that's how it is.
But what is the general, now in short, see, I will go into specific later, but in general, can you give us a synopsis of the whole study in general, without getting into specifics,
But in general, perhaps we could have had worked for more number of days in a year, is one of the observations. The second thing is we need to curb criminalization of the politics, for sure.
Okay.
Because the number of criminals, and these are all the charges which are there. Charges are not framed, but you have those cases on them. There are ordinary criminals, there are serious criminals. Just about everyone is a crorepati. And in this kind of situation, because see, I was talking right at the outset about the Goan MLAs being not exactly the true representative, which ideally they should be. Not every Goan is a crorepati today. Although today even an apartment in a city like Madgaon or especially in Panjim would cost a crore. Still, we don't have everyone. So, are we the true representative? Are they the real true representative?
Okay,
We
let
don't-
me just interrupt you on this. Now,
Yeah.
since we are on this crorepati issue of crorepati and then criminal and these other things we can do later. So let me speak on this point. Now, could you give us details of this crorepati and the crorepati MLAs that you have collated?
Well, I mean, like it's clearly known through the and see all this information which we have been giving is essentially through the affidavits which have been
Filed, yeah.
the MLAs have sworn in on the holy book either and they have given all this communication. So obviously that communication which they have done in affidavit, whatever they have incorporated, is to be believed to be true. Now, when you see this, all 40 MLAs have been crororepatis.
All 40.
All 40.
Wow.
Whether being a crorepati itself is a big this thing, I'm not too sure about it because as I said,
Criteria is a criteria to be MLA.
apartment in Panjim, it would be you are entitled to be a crorepati. But not every Goan is a crorepati. So whether we have to represent it, I don't think. I mean, by my estimate, at least about 80-85% of the people are not crorepatis in Goa, despite the per capita income being very high. So, what happens to the people who are being represented by them? All 40 are crorepatis. Whether they'll be able to really put across the problems which are being faced by the people who are not privileged people. So that is one of the issues which needs to be looked at.
Now, even last time for the last election, 2017 election, there were quite a few first-time MLAs. I don't know if I'm there. Even they are crorepatis?
All 40 are crorepatis today, and those who are elected, all 40. In today's situation, because there was a lot of change of this thing, but that didn't affect. The same names were there. There were by-elections, sometimes in 2019, around the parliament election time, Lok Sabha election time. April and May of 2019, and whoever got elected. So all 40 are today crorepatis, and which was not so in 2012 election. There were 37 out of 40, and maybe closer to in 2007 there were 22 out of 40.
Around 50%.
I stand corrected on these figures, but I think it was 22 out of 40 in 2007. So
that's around 50%. Around 50%.
Yeah. At that time it was 55% in 2007. 2012 has been 37 out of 40. So whatever is the percentage, and now it is 40 out of 40. So it is 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Another point I would like to pick up on these criminals in these people with criminal backgrounds, with criminal antecedents, or whatever you may want to call them. Could you give us some more details on this, Bhaskar Babu?
Yeah, I would do that. See, I mean, why we should have aversion towards the criminals? Let's address that question first.
Okay.
Criminals are those who are breaking the law, whether it may be a mild crime or whether it could be major crime like murder or assault on the government officers, etc., whatever, major. They come under the major this thing. Or loss to exchequer, rape, attempt to murder, etc. Now, irrespective of the nature of the crime, whether serious crime or ordinary crime, crime means he has, done something against the law. Now, if he's someone he has done something against the law, then how do you have him as your lawmaker?
And to uphold the law and to make laws. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
all the MLAs are passing a bill which goes to the governor and becomes a law. Now, if that is what it is, how do we really have people who are law breakers as lawmakers? It becomes something
Irony.
which is a
It's
paradox.
irony. Yeah, paradox. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we as Goans, right-minded people, educated people, should look at it very seriously, because I can tell you, even as late as 2007, forget the earlier period. The earlier period, you didn't have serious crime wallahs. But 2007 also, you didn't have serious MLA with the serious crimes on their hand. It was in 2012 the first time that we had, and I think you had some. Three people. I hope I'm right. I wish I'm right. And but now we have as many as 9 people with serious crimes, and we have given all those details in our report. We have
Okay.
defined what a serious crime according to us is.
Okay.
Okay. And
Could
we have-
roughly serious crime means? In rough?
Serious crime would include things like rape or attempt to rape, attempt to murder, then assault on people, then loss to exchequer, meaning you have
Corruption.
tried to avoid paying income tax, or you have made some loss to the government in the process. That could be another. So these are the kind of things which are in the category of serious crimes, and we have given all the this thing. What are the
Okay.
sections under which we consider those are the as the serious crime. So we have those many, and I can say with absolute certainty that we don't have this many percentage people who are having serious crime. 9 out of 40 is close to about 23%. If
Around.
my mathematics tells me well.
Around.
23% Goans are not serious crime wallahs, for sure.
I'm for sure. Yes.
In that situation, then how do we consider them as true representatives of the people of Goa? Is the issue.
Now,
I-
this
yeah.
connection between getting re-elected and crorpatis and criminal, is there a connection or no? Or these are just generally people who are put up by the system who win elections. Is there a connection between that? You have to be a criminal, or if you, sorry, I won't say the word criminal. You have to have criminal antecedents. You got to be a crorepati, and then there are better chances of you winning elections in Goa. Is that true? Yawa Goan, so I don't know whatever you may want to call it, that they vote for these people.
I'll answer your second part first. You
Okay.
have left that question to me to answer the second
Yes.
part. First
Okay.
part will take separately. The second part, which you said is that what is this thing? See, there's a general feeling over across the country, and it's not only limited to Goa. Across the country, and even in Lok Sabha, the number of criminals has increased. It's a matter of great concern. Supreme Court has talked about it in a big way. I can read out the figures for you first of the Parliament, Lok Sabha. And the Lok Sabha had 24% criminals in 2004. There were about 30% in 2009, 34% in 2014, and as high as 43. Oh, sorry, 43% in 2019. And if
That's
you look
almost
at
half.
serious, okay, so this is what it is now. I'll tell you a classic example, and you can come to your own conclusion. I don't want to come to any conclusion. It is for the Goans and the literate Goans to come to conclusions, whatever.
That's like almost 100% of Goa, literate Goans.
2017, I'll tell you a very classic thing. 2017 was the last election that so we had done our survey and we had presented to you all. At that time, I did my own survey and just tried to look into the figures, and I'll tell you something which is very interesting. there were six, you know, candidates out of 263 or some candidates which contested the election at that point in time. Or some 200, around 250 figure. There were six candidates, and I checked up. And then those six candidates had more than 10 crores as their assets, and they also had serious crimes on their head. Okay, only six out of 250 number of candidates which contested 2006. Now, the number 6 out of 250 is okay. I'm like, you would always have some black sheep somewhere.
Yes.
We Govans. Okay, although I don't have a voting right here, but still I can say, we Govans have elected all 6 out of 6. And they are MLAs today. Yeah.
Okay.
So, just to blame Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, or UP, or Bihar people, and what kind, the nature of the MLAs they have, no, we have also the same. Now, you know, whether it's an impedance in good governance, I have no idea. I can't say that. But money power and muscle power, at least these figures tell you that money power and muscle power helps winning elections, which is a very sad situation across the country and also in Goa, because we should be more concerned about Goa. So we should be concerned. And the numbers are increasing. If the numbers are increasing, you know, what is it that we should do? But what happens with we Goans? The first thing what we talk about, because you know, I have talked to many people in Goa about this kind of thing, and they say, "NRA, to amso kaam karta." This is a standard reply, which is very dangerous. So maje kaam karta, to amche kaam karta. So my vote goes to him only because that person does my work. Now, what is that work? That work is something which, anyway, you are supposed to get it.
He has to do it. Yes, correct.
But that is not done. And then when you go through those kind of channels, sometimes if it helps, then you feel that, okay, he's my thing, and I should vote for him. So that's very, very dangerous thing to happen. Not happen.
And it's quite sad also, because for a license or for clearing a file, ultimately if you have to go to the MLA, means what is the point of all the systems, of all these whatever everybody talks about, the center talks about, the bureaucrats talk about, where is this online transparency? That means it's all talks in the air. It's nothing actually is.
I beg to differ here. I'm okay. You know, if someone tries to show his importance, and then only after going and approaching him, he does your work. But are we really required to vote for him? Our voting should be mutually exclusive of all these considerations. Our voting should be for a person who will be talking in the interest of Goa. Whether it is happening.
That is also a valid point, yes.
Because see, if someone is having, having muscle power and money power, and if he's winning the election, whether we have to curb it, whether all the people, all the elected members really work only in the interest of Goa, is what we have to really look at very seriously. It was certainly happening in 60s and 70s. Look
Not
back
anymore.
at the first, second, third, fourth, fifth assembly of Goa and see the difference.
So now you mean there can be, from what you're saying, from the figures, I'm not talking about opinions, from the figures, you can say that there is a connection between Crorepati MLA, there is a connection between criminal antecedents and winning. Can you say that? Do your figures say that?
Glenn, the figures say that. I don't have to really say that. Figures, you can conclude from these figures very safely that yes, what you are saying is true, because see, the percentage of candidates who are Crorepatis as candidates, and the percentage of the winners as MLAs, and their crores. See,
Is
today, as
100%.
I
Is
I
100%.
mean, 100% right. That's one part. Now,
Mm.
as I time and again I say, 1 crore is not a big amount in today's world.
Mm.
But still, if all are 40 are this thing, all 250 candidates who contested, or 248 or something, last time, were not all were crorepati's. So money, only the ones who have money have got elected. Okay, those were less than 1 crore are out.
Mm.
Right? Look at the crimes also. 9 serious crime wallahs. Total 11. 11 out of 40 is what? About 27-28%.
Mm. Yes, approximately.
Okay. So, is that the number of, is that the percentage of criminals in Goa? Certainly not.
But they have won. All of them have won.
Yeah. So, but I don't blame them. I mean, totally. I mean, blame has to be taken by those who are
Yeah,
voting for them.
the electorate, the voters. I agree with you totally, absolutely. The voters.
So I think, see, if someone does the work for you, you need not necessarily vote for that person. You should vote for a person who will work in all sincerity for the benefit of Goa. I don't think you have to look beyond that.
Adding on to that, to vote for Goa, we can bring you in on this about assembly sittings. From what I was going through your report, the assembly sittings over the period of time is falling and pretty drastically. Even compared to the Lok Sabha, which is the same, it's a BJP government in at the center here also. But why is it this? Why is this a trend become? I don't know why you feel.
I don't think we should blame really a political party for this. I think running of an assembly or running of a parliament should be looked at independent of a political party. I mean, that's my way of looking at it.
Okay.
Because, see, I mean, like that way, Lok Sabha works at like last Lok Sabha, these 5 years between 2014 to 2019, it worked for about 312 days in 5 years, which is about 62 days per year.
Despite
Okay.
COVID, everything.
Yeah.
And what about Goa? What about Goa? What about
Of course,
Goa?
there are so many agencies during Lok Sabha. This thing again, I don't want to blame any political.
Yeah,
party
that is okay.
because
But what about
in
Goa?
India,
How many days?
political-
How many days Goa worked?
Goa worked in the last 4.5 years that we have done the study. That is right from 2017, the first session, till about 15th session of Goa Assembly. On an average, Goa has worked for 16 days in a year.
So that
16
percentage
days, 16 days is a lower figure compared to, say, Himachal, which is about 25 days. Punjab is this Jharkhand is about 20-22 days. But forget that. I mean, I don't want to compare with other states because everyone has this thing. But Goa itself used to run for about 26 days to 30 days earlier in a
Okay.
year. Now it is 16. Partly it could be explained by COVID over the last 1.5 years. But even if you look at the figures of 2017 and 2018,
Hmm.
the number of days are just 18 and 19.
Not much different then.
No, I feel personally, because there could be so many issues, Goa-centric issues, which remain pending. And they need to be discussed. People want those things to be discussed. People need think that there should be more time given for discussion. All these things, I think it is worth working, especially when these MLAs, even if they are one time, they get pension lifelong. So I think
Absolutely. Absolutely,
more
yeah.
work to be expected out of them.
Okay, yeah.
Whether
Bhaskar Bab-
it brings a result, I can't say, but 16 days in a year is too low a
Ridiculous.
figure.
It's very ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. Low. I know you're being polite, but I can say it's very ridiculous. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I would not want to say that, okay, you did ask me whether At center also you have one
No,
party.
but
and the
what
same
I'm saying
party.
is why I didn't mean to point to any party, but what I meant is that the logic, big brother, small brother, it's the same. So normally, if the big brother works so much, the small brother has to work harder. According, my point was that. Anyway, Bhaskar Bab, yeah, I am. We have run out of time completely. It was nice seeing you, and we will be seeing more of you as we come closer and closer to the elections. Thank you very much, Bhaskar Bab.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Glenn, for giving me this opportunity. I look
My
forward to
pleasure.
meeting you. Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure, my pleasure. And keep watching Goa 365.